Well done, Jack. Your dream dies with you. Oh, maybe not. You've guaranteed the status quo will go on. For a while longer, at least. War will continue as an institution, as an industry. Men will fight for reasons they don't understand. Causes they don't believe in. But at least I'll leave a worthy successor. You, Jack. You carve your own path. Use whatever methods you see fit. You don't let legal bullshit get in the way. And if it costs a few lives, so be it.
God damn.
Deep inside, we're kindred spirits. You and I.
Oh, well then. Sure that, wow, B? Okay, I'll take it. I should have been like a D, but I'll take the B. Yeah, so yeah, I cut out a ton of the fights there. Like, what's most frustrating to me about that fight, other than the lack of a checkpoint after the, honestly, like, completely trivial first part of the fight, was like continually failing on the easy part. Like, I kept failing on the time slashes, and yes, I realized, as you obviously saw later in the fight, that you can just run around and avoid the things. Well, usually I got hit by one at the end there, because I think I waited too long to run the other direction. But anyway, like, I missed that part, but I wanted to do that part to get the health, because later on he starts doing attacks like really, really fast. So if you don't dodge like perfect timing, then you get hit by it, which actually there, it would probably be easy to switch from dodging to doing the parries, I think, since parry has such a bigger window of being able to counter. But yeah, the most frustrating part to me of that was like failing the quote unquote easy part where I do the slash. I don't know what it is. In my defense, I'm not used to doing analog sticks all the time. That's my excuse. But man, it was like, that's the easiest part of the fight, and I kept losing on that part. Insane. But anyway, let's check out the ending. A standard cyborg body unlocked. Awesome. And a wig.
Official pet right for your family? But first, our top story. President Hamilton returns from Pakistan today, completing his first visit to the country since the failed assassination attempt in Shahbazbad last May. In meetings with Pakistani President Farooq Salam, the two leaders agreed to a new joint initiative in the war on terror, whereby U.S. Marines will be stationed in Pakistan and given wider authority to conduct operations within the country. This is amidst growing tensions within Pakistan between the country's civil and military leadership, with many in the government calling on the ISI military intelligence agency to be investigated for possible involvement
After all that.
in May's assassination attempt.
For the last time, let it go, Courtney. At least Armstrong will never be president.
But, I mean, Raiden.
It's not known whether that number would include private military contractors, which the Hamilton administration has made clear will play a significant role
There he is.
in keeping operations.
I have excellent news. We are approved. The new corporation is established.
Nice work, Doc. I guess the world's first cyborg staffing firm is officially open for business.
We are certified for construction and long-term nursing care, but this is just the beginning. The potential for new roles cyborgs can play is limitless.
And we're sure this isn't child labor?
The older children can work now, the rest when they come of age. And it's strictly voluntary, you know.
We're not running a charity here, huh? Donations alone would not even cover their maintenance. Besides, this way they'll learn a trade. Perhaps some discipline, huh?
It's not a perfect solution. But you know what? At least these kids will get a decent education.
Well, I'm not about to return them to the streets or to broken homes. At least we can give them a chance, huh? Oops.
Oh, Zangief.
An imperfect solution for an imperfect world.
Well, another benefit. A peaceful application for all my research.
Since when do you care?
Well, recent events have been food for thought, shall we say?
No kidding.
Speaking of recent events, how's our new recruit working out?
Ah, yes, quite well.
What the hell?
Quite well.
Oi, Sonny! Where you have this then?
Hang on.
Teach him English while you're at it.
1 second.
Yeah, okay. You make me head spin, you know? You're same age as me, but all this spaceship? You're genius, girl.
Mm-hmm.
And you're hot for days.
Huh? Where did that come from?
Alert. Alert. Rescinding.
This about a crazy world, nah? For me see that ninja, me never think I've been this kind of life.
Yeah.
Huh?
He rescued me too, you know. Saved my life. I owe him everything. To some people, he'll always be Jack the Ripper. I know all about his past. He had it rough. And he hurt a lot of people. But that's not the Raiden I know. The Raiden I know is a hero.
A Raiden who brutally murders people and cuts them into, like, literal ribbons. But still a hero. Is that it? Huh? Okay, I was expecting like 40 minutes of cutscenes. I mean, it is a Metal Gear game. Also, did Kojima not have anything to do with this game? I thought he did. I've been saying that he was involved the whole time, but then I think I was reading somewhere that he wasn't. I don't know. Anyway, so that was Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. This is where I typically give my quick off-the-cuff review, what I think of the game. Overall, I think it was great. The combat felt really good. Some of the controls were weird, like definitely non-standard, like pushing forward and attacking to block. What was the other big thing? Oh, the blade mode. That stuff was definitely unusual, but not like unusual in a bad way. Like, it was cool to see them do something different, because normally you have like a button for block and a button for dodge. It was really cool to see a different control style. It worked pretty well, I think. And the game was very forgiving on the block. I mean, maybe it's different on harder difficulties. We played on hard difficulty, but I think this unlocks at least one more difficulty level. There might be two more, I'm not sure. But I think it was very, very generous. Like, I could push forward and attack, and the block stayed up for quite a while. So even if I hit it like way too early, I feel like I still got to block anyway. Now, obviously, you're not going to get perfect parries doing that, but the game wasn't like, oh, well, you weren't doing it within that quarter second, you're going to get hit. So more often than not, I hit it too late because I was trying to get the just-in-time parries. And honestly, I enjoy doing it so that it's closer, right? Like I like to play like the gap is closer than it is because I feel like if I'm doing it way early, it's just lazy. And I feel like sometimes I could just get lazy and just keep tapping forward and hitting the light button and just block everything. But yeah, I mean, I can overlook that. The combat was really fluid. There was a good variety of enemy types, I felt. The challenge was pretty good going up as you went up, I guess. It was a pretty decent, I guess, somewhat increase in challenge as we went. It never got like super hard. The last boss gave me a lot of trouble, but honestly, a lot of that was just due to, even though by then I understood how the slicing mechanic worked, I just couldn't name it right. But that was, I mean, I'll fully take credit for that, or blame, I guess. And also, I did find out, like, with the time, or the precision slashes on the things that he's throwing at you on the last fight, you don't have to get every single one of those squares. I think you only have to get 3, maybe even 2. So it wasn't even have to be perfect. Now, I don't know if there's a benefit to doing all 4 of them. Maybe on the higher difficulties, you have to get all 4. But you don't even have to get them all. So they were trying to be lenient even in that, and even on the final boss fight, which is cool. But I do feel like the last boss fight was pretty boring, even that outside. There wasn't any waypoints. Kojima did have something to do with it. But I honestly did feel it was boring. Because if you fail, you have to do all the fight again. And again, it's not challenging to have to do the beginning parts again. Because once you learn that dodge trivializes at least the first half of that fight, the first part is just basically mash, 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 dodge, mash, 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 dodge, mash, 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 dodge. Like that's it. That's the entire first half of the fight. And the dodge timing isn't even that tight. Now later on in the fight, it does get more tight because it feels like either his hit window is wider or maybe he just attacks a little bit faster. I don't know what it was, but dodge wasn't working as well. And I think I probably should have switched to parrying. But I think there should have been a checkpoint after the first series of shit he throws at you, because again, it doesn't add challenge. I never had problems with the first stage. Once I understood dodge trivialized it, I never had a problem with that first part, except for the slicing part. So I feel like that should have had a checkpoint. It made the fight really boring, especially certain sequences. For example, when he does that one attack where you like go into like a cinematic and you have to mash so he doesn't throw your sword, and there's multiple parts. It's like the first time that was cool to watch. The 10th time, that was super old. And I ended up just trying to dodge that, not because I wanted to take the damage, but because I didn't want to have to sit through that whole ordeal again because it was boring. So I feel like they tried too hard on that boss. He had too many hit points. It just took too long to whale him down. Once you got the mechanics, it was more of a case of just whittling him down over time. And he wasn't really that interesting. Overall, the bosses, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't say that they're bad. I think some of them had really cool ideas, like Sundowner. Sundowner had the really cool thing where you like do the precision slash to break open his shield and then cut off the little arms. I think that was a good idea, but the problem is that's all Sundowner was. Like once you got that part, Sundowner was completely trivial. I would say he was the second easiest boss in the game. The first easiest would be the lady, what's her name? Monsoon? No, not Monsoon. I completely forgot her name, but you know what I'm talking about, the only female boss that there was. I found that she was like the reason that she was so easy is because of those little arm guys. They always dropped health, or almost always drop health when you kill them. So that made her trivial. Like even if you were doing really badly against her, you could just keep killing those little guys and keep getting health. So that made her the easiest fight. And even without that though, she would have been pretty easy. But she was like the first real boss. I don't know if I even consider her the Metal Gear Ray a boss. I mean, I guess he is, but I didn't really consider him that. But anyway, and then like, what's funny was I saw a few people say they thought Monsoon was the hardest boss. That I don't understand. Like, I mean, it's one of those Bloodborne things, right? Where a lot of people say, oh, this is the hardest boss, while other people are like, oh, that boss is trivial, but this other boss is super hard. But then those people are like, oh no, that guy was super easy. But which is cool. Like, my weakness is doing the precision slashes. So Armstrong gave me a hell of an ordeal. But people who are good at that, I'm sure they beat him like super quick. But then I'm pretty good at doing the parry. So I thought Monsoon was pretty trivial. Like, I think we only died on him once, maybe twice, I think. And then it was just because we were learning his patterns and like learning what to block and when he does what and all of that. Once you figured that out, like, that was, I thought he was a trivial fight. But again, others who maybe have problem with the time dodges, maybe beat him easy, but then they beat Armstrong their first try. So that's pretty cool that it works like that. Jetstream Sam, I also considered him really easy. Like, I think we beat him on the second try. Now, granted, I will say this: the second time we beat him on the second time, that was luck, because we were down to like 0 point something health. So one mistake right near the ends would have screwed me up.
And how's business?
Oh, good. The Herr Doctor's research and staffing service certainly help.
I hear World Marshal's looking for a buyer.
Well, you cost them a lot of money, nah? Not to mention killing their funding. Literally. The break-taking program is finished, but the larger company is not, I'm afraid. Someone will buy them. PMCs are in demand once again.
Yeah. Fighting for reasons they don't understand. Causes they don't believe in.
Beg pardon?
No. Nothing.
So, your mind is made? You will not come back.
Sorry, Boris.
I understand. But then, what will you do?
Wait, he fixed his eye? How does that work?
I've got my own war to fight.
Because he doesn't even have the scar there either. Which I guess it's all plastic, so you could just replace it. I don't know. It's a shame we'll never get a sequel. Thanks to Konami completely sucking ass. And to be fair, I don't think this game sold that well, which is a shame, because it was really good overall. I mean, it definitely had its weakness. The camera was terrible. Like, and the camera could have been fixed just by giving me an option that says, don't touch the camera. Leave the camera where I put it. How hard would that have been? And the camera would have been so much better. But the fact that it constantly tries to fix itself made it 10 times worse than it had to be. You could lock on and that helped a bit, but with multiple enemies, sometimes I'm wanting to move the camera around to keep an eye on them and blah, blah, blah. So the camera was really bad. The game was definitely pretty darn short. I think we were at like 8 hours. If I wouldn't have struggled so much with Armstrong, we'd have been at 7 or 7.5. But yeah, no, I thought it was a great game. I had some weaknesses here and there, but I'd love to see a sequel. I think it was phenomenal. And it made us not hate Raiden. I mean, that's pretty impressive in itself. I'll hit start because that's just not going away. But, let's see what our overall rank was. Oh, god damn it. C. That's awful. Terrible. I'll leave that up so you can look at that for some reason. But anyway, I guess overall on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like an absolutely amazing must-play classic, 5 being a like average game where it's got just about as much good as it does bad. I'd give this game about a 7 to a 7.5. And again, on my scale, 7 isn't a bad game. 7 is a damn good game. 7 to a 7.5. I really enjoyed it, like I said, but it was a little short. I feel like if you're going to just do one playthrough, you're not going to be able to get a lot of the upgrades, which, I mean, it's, not get all of them. That's fair enough. But I like the idea of the VR missions, too. I messed around with some of those. Those are pretty interesting. So there is that additional content there. So it's not just 8 hours and you're completely done. There's the VR missions and whatnot. So that's cool. But yeah, I think it was a great game. As far as the price, I always give a price recommendation of what I think you should buy it. Honestly, this game, it would be hard to say 60, but I don't even think it's 60 anywhere. I would say at least $40, 40 to 50, given if you're going to play the main campaign and or play the VR missions and possibly play it like again on a higher difficulty. I think then it would definitely be worth up to 50. But again, I think it's, even if you buy full price, I don't think it's 50 these days. But even if you're like me, you're going to play through it one time on whatever difficulty you prefer, I would say it's easily worth 30-ish. It's just a really fun experience. There's not a lot of like spectacle action games like this out there that are really good. Bayonetta, Devil May Cry, that kind of thing. God of War is not one, no matter what anybody says. These types of games are rare, like good ones are rare. So that's why I would definitely pay even a little bit of a premium, even if you're only going to play it one time. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you leave comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of this, you thought of the series. Like the videos if you like them. It does help me out a lot. Let's see what we get though. Title: Passing Rain. Complete normal or higher difficulty in less than 8 hours. Woohoo! Oh, we must have just barely slid into that. Complete normal on higher difficulty. Nice. Complete normal on higher difficulty while only using the high frequency blade. Oh, I guess I could have bought the other one. Complete normal and higher difficulty while killing at least 50 enemies via ninja kill. Complete normal on higher difficulty despite being discovered by enemies 50 or more times. Cut your enemies at least 1,000 times using blade mode. Cool. It'll probably give me a message about the new difficulty too. I was curious. Oh god, that's terrible. Yeah, see, this is very hard. But yeah, this is definitely the type of game where if I had like more time, I could absolutely see me going through it a few times, either to play on higher difficulty or try to get better scores. But anyway, that was Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Thank you guys again for sticking through it to the end, and I will see you in the next Let's Play.